Hello there and welcome to the tutorial of @risk for Microsoft project. For the necessary software you can go on the website of Palisade, but I will also put a link in the description box below. So let's get started. To start properly, I already put the necessary data in my software. My project consists of a renovation of a building and it is, by the way, written in Dutch, so my apologies for that inconvenience for the non-Dutch speakers. So I have my list of activities already in place, and now I need to give each activity its own distribution. This I do by clicking on the duration of the activity, in this case 8 hours. Next I click on the icon Define Distribution. So this brings us this little box. Here you can define what kind of distribution you are going to use. This you can do here. You can choose from all kinds of variations, for example, a Poisson, triangular or a uniform distribution. For this activity, I take a triangular distribution, but of course, you can pick your own one. After that, I set up the minimum and maximum values. This you can easily do by clicking on the little arrows here. I will put them on -10 and +10. This means that there will be a 10% subtracted and added to the mean, the 8 hours. But you can also change in absolute values. This you get by changing the type, which you can find here. To get the absolute changes, you put it on the plus and minus possibility. So now you can see that the triangle changed with a minimum of -10 and a maximum of 18. So after all this is done, we click on apply and we can change the other activities as well. But in this case I have already done this, so now we need to define our output. This will be our realization time of the entire project. We can find our end date in the last activity, which is over here. So Microsoft project puts the end date on the 17th of April 2013. We click here on and define it as the output with the icon on the top of the screen. So basically we are done now with the essentials, and we can try to simulate the project. But before that, I will set the number of iterations on the lowest possible, in this case 100. For a better analysis, you can raise the number of iterations, but this would also mean that the time to calculate everything will be higher. So instead of a couple of seconds, it can be minutes, maybe hours. It all depends on the number of activities you have for your project. So we click on OK and let the simulation run. So here we have the screen that comes up automatically with the results. In the first row we can see our output and its derived variables. So the software calculated the mean, the minimum and the maximum. We see now that we have a mean of 30/04/2013, which means that our expected average end date has delayed with 13 days. The minimum is the 22nd of April and our maximum is the 10th of May. We can also put the data in a graph with the icon here on top. I choose the normal histogram that gives me this awkward looking graph. Of course, you have a lot more options to choose from in the program, but at least you know the basics now. Enjoy!